and welcome back to my channel. My name is Misty and the channel's name of course is Speculative Magpie. And we are here to do a book review. I finished one of my recent library books. Here There Are Monsters, and I figured we'd come back and we'd talk about it a little bit. Alright, so it's been a while since we've done this, so we're going to read this synopsis and then we're going to talk about it. So again, Here There Be Monsters by Amelinda Berube. I know I butchered that, I'm sorry. Alright, but synopsis. 16-year-old Skye is done playing knight in shining armor for her insufferable younger sister, Deidre. Moving across the country seems like the perfect chance for her to start over and reinvent her life. In their isolated new neighborhood, Skye manages to fit in, but Deidre withdraws from everyone, becoming fixated on the swampy woods behind their house and building monstrous sculptures out of sticks and bones. Then Deidre disappears. And when something awful comes scratching at Skye's window in the middle of the night, claiming that she's the only one who can save Deidre, Skye knows she will stop at nothing to bring her sister home. This is the story of sisterhood turned toxic, imaginary monsters brought to life, and the secrets that won't stay buried. This book was so good, y'all. Seriously. I know I say that a lot. I need to get that on a mug. But I really thoroughly enjoyed this book. This book reminded me a lot of The Twisted Ones by Kingfisher and The Ghost Tree. It is a YA horror book, but it was creepy. There was disgusting, gross parts in it. It was scary. And the atmosphere in this book was just fantastic. And you know me, I love me some atmospheric horror. This book, I guess, would be like more like a dark fairy tale. It was, and what better dark fairy tale is there than a fairy tale about two sisters? I have an older brother. He's 13 years older than me, so we're pretty close, but we were never together at that, pivotal time where, teenagers are starting to like go from their make-believe games into real life, and that's basically what this book is. Skye is the perfect older sister. She's very protective of Deidre. She's smart. She's level-headed. She's tough. She's just, all in all, a good, normal kid. Deidre, on the other hand, she is dramatic, heads lost in the clouds. She's spiteful. She's hard to get along with for her parents, for Deidre, and she didn't have very good social skills. So with her being so lost in this imaginative world that she created for her and Skye, there was conflict there when Skye started to pull away and wanted real life friends and, possibly a boyfriend. So that caused some major conflict because Deidre wanted Skye to remain in her world. And then after a fight and an argument, Deidre disappears. And that opens up this whole world of this fairy tales. These are the fairies that I know. They're dark. They exact promises and sacrifices and trials that you have to go through. You can't just walk up to these people and go, hey, I like my sister back. They're like, okay, so what are you going to do for me? And they exact some horrible, punishing sacrifices and trials for Skye to go through. And it is just the other characters in here, Kevin, Sophie, William, are so three-dimensional. You can just, I mean, you know these kids. You know that there's so much more to them than they're willing to let on. And Sky just basically being the sister that she is, she does what she needs to get Deidre back. And that's a lot of horrible, horrible shit. And other people are pulled into this realm that is basically kind of like everything Deidre created. Deidre was like this queen in this world, and Sky was her queen of swords, basically her knight in shining armor, her protector. And Sky has to do it again, and she reluctantly has to do it. She doesn't want to do it. She wants Deidre to just be normal. She wants Deidre to just come back. She doesn't want to have to do the things that she ends up having to do. And that's the thing I loved about this book. This was consequences. Nobody gets off scot-free in this book. So much happens. And it's just like reading an old, grim fairy tale. Where, yeah, you might get the prince, but you also, your horse gets nailed to a garden gate. Your stepmother gets shoved into a like barrel of like boiling oil. Your sisters cut off their toes. It's just, this book is just such an amazing ride, and it's so creative. And I of course gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I was thoroughly surprised at how much I liked this book. These are the kinds of stories and the kinds of fairy tales based on myths that I can relate to. She's a Canadian author, Amelinda. So she has one other book. I'm going to see if my library has it, because I really enjoyed the way that she writes, and I hope she keeps up this weird, twisted folk magic fairy tale ambiance that is in this book, because people very rarely write like this anymore. And like I said, I hadn't read anything like this since like the Twisted Ones or Ghost Tree. I love a female dynamic that's not, come on bestie, let's go, fight the dragon and win. Although I love that dynamic too. I kind of love a multifaceted, multi-layer relationship. And relationships are not always good. And I think this one definitely knocked it out of the park. If you can get past the fact that it's YA, I'm not really a YA reader, but this book just seemed interesting. I would highly recommend picking this up just to see what it's about. See if it's something that you might like. So yeah, that is my review on Here There Are Monsters. And let's see, my next book that I'm going to read is also one of my library books. Is Anne Bishop's Lake Silence. So that one is what I'm going to be reading next. And I'm actually listening to an audiobook that I got from the library too, that I downloaded off of Libby. And that one is The Bird Box. And I haven't gotten very far in that. I'm still trying to work out me liking audiobooks. So hopefully I'll be getting that one done in a couple of days. I just listen to it every once in a while here or there when I'm knocking around on the computer. So thank you once again to come back so we can talk about some books and things. And I hope to see you again soon with another book review. Bye, y'all.